Hello everybody, today I want to talk to you about something that's really important that's going on in my hometown right now, which I'm sure the majority of you watching are from my hometown, Wilkes-Barre. Recently, the Wilkes-Barre Area School District Board has voted to remove a bunch of arts classes from the core curriculum in order to save money. They're having a lot of budget problems, and this was the solution that they came up with. A lot of us are very upset about it. I'm very upset about it. The arts were so important to me in the system when I was growing up in the Wilkes-Barre Area School District system, and this video is sort of me trying to contribute to the cause of getting the school board to maybe reconsider. I thought that I would share with you my experience of the arts in the Wilkes-Barre Area School District when I was growing up, specifically music. I know a lot of you have stories that that speak to arts or family consumer sciences or drafting and computer design classes and things like that, and I really encourage you to share those stories as well. Mine specifically music, but I also had a little bit of help with art, so I wanted to share that to sort of let you know why I think the arts are so important and why I think we need to sort of reconsider the situation and find a solution that doesn't include slashing the arts from our public schools. So I have a couple things written because I have a lot to say and I didn't want to forget anything, so bear with me. I hope I don't sound like awful while I'm doing this. But first I wanted to start with a couple of statistics that I found online that come from the National Assembly of State Art Agencies. They are a government group, and it gave me a bunch of information about why the arts are so important to public schools and to children and to learning in general. So first of all, there's a quote that they have in here that talks about the No Child Left Behind Act. This act says that the arts share equal billing with reading, math, science, and other disciplines that are, listed as the core academic subjects. So because the arts can lead to improved academic outcomes. So in the No Child Left Behind Act, which all state schools and public schools have to follow, they say the arts are just as important as the Common Core. In fact, the arts are Common Core. So that's the first red flag. Another quote says that schools integrating the arts into the curriculum as part of a comprehensive education reform strategy are documenting positive changes in the school environment and improved student performance. And as you will find out later, I am a walking, talking example of this. And also, which I think is the most important, is that the American public finds the arts just as important as the statistics are telling us. They believe, 93% of Americans believe that the arts are vital to a well-rounded education. More than half of them rated the importance of an arts education a 10 out of a possible 10, which I think is a huge deal. And we're seeing this in our town as well. We have protests going on. A lot of people have come to the meeting to express what the arts mean to them in our schools. So also 86% of Americans believe that the arts improve a child's attitude towards school. It makes them want to come to school. 83% believe that it aids in effective communication skills, which are so important in this day and age. It makes you very confident participating in the arts. Also, overall, I found from the National Assembly of State Arts Agencies that participating in the arts improves standardized test scores, it transfers over into real life, such as critical thinking and communication skills, and it also improves SAT scores, which are vital for your child or yourself into getting into college. And then finally, this whole pamphlet, which I'm going to put a link in the description, says it boils down the arts education as having 6 major benefits. I said 5. 6 major benefits, which are reading and language skills, mathematical skills, thinking skills, social skills, motivation to learn, and a positive school environment, all of which I'm going to anecdotally explain to you and how it helped me, basically. I'm a walking, talking example. A lot of my friends are a walking, talking example of these 6 benefits from participating in arts, whether it's music, general art, drafting, family and consumer science, what have you. So, after that little brief intro as to, why, first of all, it matters to the government and to, Americans in general, I want to express to you my personal story of how participating in the arts throughout my entire academic career has helped me achieve success both inside and outside of the classroom environment. And once again, I encourage you all to share your stories as well as to how the arts has helped you inside and outside of the classroom. So I didn't realize it when I was in elementary and high school, but I was blessed to have been living in the Wilkes-Barre Area School District, in the public school system that they had for us, as opposed to many others. So usually public schools are kind of like a wasteland. They contain only the bare minimum of core classes and opportunities for its students. So this makes moving on to college very difficult for those that aren't involved in sports, or whose parents maybe don't have the financial means to provide their children these extracurricular opportunities that are not present in schools. Like, I never took classes outside of school. I had the public school system. Whatever they offered is what I did. So I was very blessed because the Wilkes-Barre public school system was not like those wastelands. Even though we didn't have like philosophy honors courses or weird out of the ordinary PE classes like ballet or fencing that like Wyoming Seminary might have, we did have a strong music and arts founding, and I found myself thriving in it, and also it made me look forward to participating in those classes every week when we had them. So a little bit about me. I was a painfully shy child when I was very, very young, which is really difficult to imagine now because I'm very, very talkative now. So before kindergarten, I was stuck to my mother's side 24/7. I didn't want to socialize with other children at all. I just wanted to hang out with my mom. And then I finally went to school and I started breaking out of my shell. But I don't think it was the regular classes that made me do it. It was my music and arts classes. I didn't know if I was a good singer or anything of that sort, but I really enjoyed how in music class everybody would gather together and perform something just for the fun of it. It really struck a chord in me. It made me extra excited to go to school on days where we had music. And then when I got to 4th grade, we got to learn the recorder, which is, a common method that introduced us to playing an instrument in general. And not to sound cliche, but it changed my entire life. The way your brain works to put abstract notes on a paper together with your body to create music is an act that, as I've noted before, transfers over to other avenues such as critical thinking. Counting out notes mentally helped me in math classes, which was always a huge struggle for me. Learning to read music, as noted before, is like learning another language. I saw this transferring over to my Spanish classes in high school and college, where I eventually studied abroad in Spain with confidence and the ability to get by. Music was everywhere, and I was completely hooked and immersed in it. I ended up learning saxophone in grade school, and I continued on to band in high school, and I only quit the band because I really wanted to focus on vocal performance. That's where I thought I shined. I was inspired as a young child by watching my aunt and sister perform in GAR choir, which is my high school's upper level choir. So while I'm watching them, I always noticed the soloists, and I was determined as a child that I would be one of those soloists. So when I got to school, I was completely in on it. Even though we didn't learn sight singing or, solfege or something that you might learn in like a private school or taking private lessons, I found myself picking up the pieces very quickly and really enjoying my time in my chorus classes. Chorus and drama club were both places where I unwinded for the day, and I also did the most mental work that would aid me in my other classes later on. These avenues motivated me to get to school on days where I wanted to be anywhere but. It gave me the skills necessary to take AP courses and challenge myself even further than I ever thought that I would challenge myself. And eventually I began to competitively sing in the PMEA circuit with the encouragement of my music teacher, Joanne Major. She became like a mother to me during those long hours spent at rehearsals. With her help, I performed and competed at the district, regional, and state level. And I also had the opportunity to participate at the Performing Arts Institute at Wyoming Seminary on a scholarship, which Mrs. Major informed me about. All the while, all of this is happening, I was a top 5 student in my class. I consistently got advanced placement in the PSSAs, and I performed pretty well on my SATs. So well that I got accepted to every college I applied for. So that's saying something. I continued singing throughout college at King's locally with Cantoris Christi Regis, and it helped me keep a clear head throughout my college career. I finished top of my major. So a lot of you might know me and are thinking, Katie, you've always performed academically well. It can't be music, it can't be the arts, you're just lucky. But the reason why I know it was the arts and specifically music that was helping me was because the one semester, my only semester that I didn't participate in choir, was the semester where I had the worst GPA I've ever had in my entire academic career. I needed that focus. So let's sum this up for you. The shy grade schooler majored in mass communications. This is one of the most talkative, people-person-oriented major that someone can have. I'd consistently get high scores in my presentations where other classmates were super nervous and jittery. I credit this confidence to having 9 years on the stage before I started college. The math-challenged grade schooler found herself loving subjects like computer science, calculus, and metaphysics. These are all logically challenging courses that learning music and taking part in classes like drafting helped in. What's more, the young child who clung to her mother's side went away to grad school by herself on a full scholarship, maintaining a 4.0 through it all, and now has a full ride to her PhD. This is not the result of only academic success. This is the result of confidence and critical thinking skills gained through having an artful life. My best friend, who had an almost identical upbringing as myself, is also at grad school with a full ride. This does not apply only to music, as I said before, but to art, drafting, and any other artful course that you can find yourself in that are now in danger of being slashed, that should be protected. So think back to the beginning of this video, I know it was a long time ago, sorry, I'm very long-winded, to those 6 major benefits that I listed of having the arts in schools. I and so many of my other friends are living examples of them. The arts are not an afterthought, and the school board majorly needs to reconsider this situation. Thanks.